Thank you. I'll call to order the regular meeting of Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, the morning session, 9 a.m. session.
My name is Charles Shin. I am a retired Marine, and I'm also a concerned citizen. Good morning, board members, Mr. Chairman. Concerned citizens have presented reports over the past 2 years on issues and questions for Kern County elections regarding integrity, accuracy, transparency, security, continuous control of data, ballot processing, timely reporting, and technology. We have relied upon information from official elections reporting from county and state, personal observations, nationally public reported information to bring about transparent, reliable trust in our county elections. Evidence has been consistently provided to the board highlighting a great need for oversight, clarity, and correction. Since there's a pattern of Kern County and Kern elections failing to comply with citizens' request for information under the CPRA, we believe the next best step is for the Board of Supervisors to form an election commission. This commission could lead the way in recommendations to improve county election reporting, maintenance of voter rolls, engagement of public, transparency in election systems, fiscal reduction, improved registration verification, timeliness, efficiency, reliability, and voter confidence. Concerned citizens would like to join efforts with the Board of Supervisors in forming an elections commission to resolve election integrity for Kern County with the worthy goal of restoring faith and confidence in our election systems.
Dennis McLean, MC, capital L-E-A-N. Good morning, Chairman.
Morning.
And board members. We have great concern over the cleanup of Kern County voter roll prior to November 5th, 2024 election. Aimee Espinoza has promised to complete 77,000 inactive registration confirmations by the end of July 2024. That is tomorrow. This reflects 18% of our total registered voters. According to the NVRA, the voter rolls will enter a frozen period with no removals allowed starting August 7th, 2024. 90 days prior to the November 5th election. This also means we have not met the compliance to law noted in the Judicial Watch lawsuit. Will the 77,000 inactive registrations be reconciled by August 7th? We note that we do not see inactive designations on the voter rolls and would like to know if the election office keeps an inactive voter roll separate from the active rolls. We are making a CPRA request for the inactive voter rolls for the past 5 years. We note that Supervisor Couch in January 2024 requested a 5-year report from Ms. Espinoza on inactive voter removals. Has that been produced for the board to review to date? Concerned citizens strongly urge the board to form a commission to review past results and processes to seek current election code education and overview decisions over best practices for a fiscally sound and trustworthy election department moving forward. Thank you.
My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S, a concerned citizen and veteran. Today, I have for you a physical copy of the Judicial Watch lawsuit case number 2:24-CV3750. The National Voter Registration Act ensures its aim to increase the number of eligible citizens who register and to protect the integrity of the electoral process and to ensure the accurate and current voter registration rolls are maintained. Section 8 requires each state and county administration to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to remove the names of ineligible voters from the official list of eligible voters. The Secretary of State's March response to this lawsuit admits that 16 of California's 58 counties, which together contain more than a fourth of California's population, did not know how many registrations they removed under Section 8, Parent D, Parent 1, Parent B, in a 2-year period establishes both a statewide failure to conduct a general program that makes a reasonable effort to cancel the registrations of voters who have become ineligible by reason of a change in residence, and a failure by Defendant Weber to fulfill her duties as California's Chief of State Election Official to coordinate state responsibilities under the NVRA.
My name is Glenn Clayton, Clayton. Good morning, Board. Chairman Couch, good morning. My colleague had talked about 16 of California's 58 counties, did not know how many registrations that they removed in their voter rolls, 22 to 24. The 16 counties are Del Norte, El Dorado, Inyo, Kern, Lassen, Marin, Mendocino, Merced, Mono, Nevada, Orange, Riverside, San Joaquin, Santa Clara, Sonoma, and Tulare. These counties represent 28% of state voters. Kern County failed to report removals and expects to now pursue the removal of roughly 77,000 most recent admission registration records of inactive voters during that 22-24 period. The county expects to report these cancellations to to the Election Assistance Commission in response to the 2024 Election Administration and Voting Survey. Now, we concerned citizens brought attention to the Board of Supervisors this issue, and Judicial's Watch noticed potential litigation with their December 2023 letter. We are deeply concerned. 6 months later, we have not seen Kern County's election office proactively correct their failure to remove inactive voter registrations. And we believe the County Board of Supervisors should form a commission to pursue understanding, ensure integrity, and provide oversight for our elections. Thank you.
Good morning, Board. Name's Jess Sanders, and I'm hoping you all read about the last week's breaking news in Maricopa County, where the Dominion machine was brought down by the failure of the CrowdStrike security-based program. Dominion has failed across the nation, as well as in Puerto Rico, for similar reasons. Now, our propaganda media reassured America that Dominion machines could not be influenced by the web or anything on the web, because they're never connected to it. Just to mention, my toaster didn't fail because it's not connected to the web, but Dominion did. The same agenda-driven media that pushed the narrative that Biden is as sharp as a tack, or Kamala was the best border czar we ever had. There's an update on that. She's never been a border czar. So anyway, back to Dominion. Since the board signed a 3-year contract, $750,000 with Dominion under false pretenses that it was impervious to web attacks, can you not back out of that, bringing back $750,000 due to breach of contract from Dominion? That would help our firefighters a lot, I'm sure. And it would relieve a lot of pressure from our taxes. The public that needs to be reassured that it's not who votes out there, it's who counts the votes or what counts the votes. And there's an awful lot of evidence now, for those who've never seen any evidence, that the machine can be interfaced with the internet and influenced. Thank you.
I have a fun fact for you. In 1995, by order of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, the county clerk registrar of voters was combined with the auditor controller's office.
Ma'am, could you give us your name for the record, please?
I'm sorry, Pamela Reese,
Thank you.
R-E-E-C-E. That's just a little tidbit. I'm here to talk to you about the Elections Division Manager. The Elections Division Manager is a first-level management position performing under the oversight of the Auditor Controller, County Clerk's Office, and works at the direction of the Assistant Registrar of Voters. This work is performed in accordance with federal, state, and local laws pertaining to the California election process, and those are done by the staff assigned to and responsible for the accurate and efficient administration of all elections operations. The most important of these operations is the maintenance of the master voter files as required by law. The Elections Division Manager must have the ability to exercise initiative, apply good judgment, and communicate effectively. This includes giving a timely response to any inquiries or requests from the general public regarding elections information. Additionally, the Elections Division Manager shall collaborate with other management and staff to develop and deliver election-related educational public meetings and conduct election-related outreach activity workshops. It seems there is not an Elections Division Manager on staff with so many of the inconsistencies that are going on with our elections. I'm just wondering if we do in fact have an Elections Division Manager here in Kern County. Thank you.
Kern County Auditor, Controller, County Clerk, Aimee Espinoza. So first, I want to mention we have been hearing about the cleanup of the voter rolls. It was 65,000, now it's 77,000. And I've spoken to you, and I will include it in my presentation next week, that on July 19th, we did remove approximately 77,100 inactive voters from our voter roll. As I've explained before, these voters were marked inactive, which means they did not get sent ballots once they were marked inactive. And so I just want to make sure that people understand that. As people are marked inactive on our rolls, it just means that they're not receiving ballots. So we're not.
Back up for a second and remind people, because I think it's important to remind them, the definition of an inactive voter.
Well, it's someone who has not voted, or we have received undeliverable mail from them, and so they're marked in an inactive status. And then we have the state law dictates how we move forward with those voters. We have to try and reach them to make sure it's not an error. And then there's a time period that we have to wait. And then once that time period elapses, we have to send another notice. And then those people have 15 days to respond to us. And if they don't respond in those 15 days, then we can delete them. So these have to do with change of address. These are specific to change of address. Now, we receive regular reports from the courts and from public health on deceased voters. And so there are constantly updates being made to the voter roll on a regular basis. These are specific to change of address. Let's see.
Yeah, Aimee,
Yes.
remind us, what does it take to become an inactive voter? Not they've changed their registration, but how often do they have to not vote, and how
Well,
many?
I misspoke.
elections?
So if we receive their mail back, so it's returned to us as undeliverable, that is this category of inactive voters. So if the United States Postal Service tells us that this person does not reside at this address anymore, then we stop sending out ballots to that address.
There's no time limit to wait on that.
No, not to make them inactive. That's immediate, and that's something that we process typically before we even certify, kind of in those end days as we're waiting for cure letters to come in. Staff is processing those, so that is something that's immediate.
So the 77 you're talking about are people that have not voted. And how many general elections, or what's the term that gets you to the inactive?
So it's
Status.
2 federal elections,
Okay.
and once they meet that threshold, then we have to still send
Then
that
you
notice
start
of
your
15
process.
days.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I wanted to also request, Kathy, you're really great. Mr. Robles provided you all with a packet. I don't receive the packets until days later, typically when Kathy provides them to me as the elections official. There are a lot of things that are provided to your board and to staff that don't come to me until Kathy provides them, so I do appreciate that. I wanted to just comment, first of all, as you all are, I'm an elected official, as you know. I took an oath, as do our elected and appointed officials throughout the county, to follow federal and state laws, and we do that. In Kern County elections, we are following the law. We look for places, it doesn't mean everything is perfect. Sometimes we notice places that we can improve, and we do that on a continuous basis. But priority is to make sure that we are following the laws of the United States and of the state of California to provide the best service we can to our voters and to the community that we serve. As far as, just to comment really quickly on voting systems, regardless of the voting system that any county uses, California has, within their state laws, many checks and balances, many additional security measures that we are checking along the way as we process ballots to ensure that, that the count at the end is accurate.
Aimee, thank you so much for your report. I think it's encouraging to see those removals occur. And I know you've been inundated with the amount of duties and responsibilities imposed on you, and I think you're doing, an incredible job. I support you, and I appreciate you. I had a really productive meeting with these folks here in the front row and a couple more in the Point Conference Room last week. It was really constructive. It didn't feel ideological or negative in any way. It was a very surprising, enlightening opportunity for me to come up to speed on the various ways, the many, many ways in which I think, frankly, don't have much to do with you personally, but just the sort of larger, complex narrative around, voting integrity, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's very complex and certainly not something that we can flesh out here in 2-minute intervals, just incredibly complex. So I certainly want to do my part. And I don't know what that even means or looks like because it's so complex. I think you need vastly more resources, and we need to look at the structure of this system and see how we can, improve these processes. And I was very encouraged by that meeting because I felt that there was a lot of organization, a lot of good information presented in a way that I could relate to. So I want to say thank you for that meeting. I think that was very productive, very healthy. I think we're going to make progress moving forward. I really do believe that. And I also want to explore with Supervisor Couch at some point the committee structure that we have here set up on the board. We haven't used it in a long time. I think you initially rolled that out half a decade ago, and maybe longer. But where we can look at ways in which we can hold the state accountable for their, inadequacies or their, lack of resources or attention to things that we really need here. And I want to do that in a spirit of collaboration and support of your department. And of course, I desperately want to increase the belief in our system. I want to believe in it too, and clean up where we can. And I'm so encouraged that as of July 19th, you've made such profound progress. I want to thank you for that, Aimee. But I just want to put those thoughts out there. I don't think we're going to resolve that this morning, but I wanted the public to know that we had a really excellent meeting, and I'm looking forward to more, and how I can play my play my part in helping the process and improving the confidence in the public in what we're doing, because I believe in all of us here, and I think we're going to make big progress. So thank you, Chairman. Those are just some initial thoughts.
Thank you for coming today. And do you have any further comment? Okay.
Supervisor Perez, to your point of increasing voter confidence and really educating our voters on what the laws are, what the rules are, what we actually do. My office is open. I've met with a few of our concerned citizens. I've met with Ralph Robles. I've met with Dennis McLean when they have requested a meeting with me, and I find time. I know they meet with all of you. I don't get very many requests for meetings. And also in the discussion of forming a committee, I do want to express my interest and the request that I be part of that discussion.
You would be there.
You know, I have friends at the Secretary of State and throughout Sacramento who, I would like to possibly, along with you, of course, incorporate into the conversation so that it's really a Kern County family conversation about our election system that the public has got to believe in, or we have a serious breakdown of the way in which government needs to function on a day-to-day basic level. And so, I'm behind you, Aimee. I'm with you. I'm really intrigued by these concerned citizens. The work they have done is profound. It's really extensive. And I found it to be non-ideological in nature. I was surprised by that. And I just became clear to me that we need to be talking to each other more, and I think you need many more resources, and that's a complicated conversation. But I think we can flesh that out, and we can improve this and we can make it better. And I want to thank them for their work. And they were incredibly gracious. They were gentlemen, and of course, the lady, her name is slipping my mind right now, was just brilliant, incredible communicator. She was fabulous. I really enjoyed the conversation. I learned a lot, and I just think we can just do so much better. And I'm looking forward to that conversation. The chair and I will, I think, flesh some of that out, how we can do that moving forward. But it really is a spirit of collaboration and in leveraging all our friends around the state and learning at best practices. I know some counties were withdrawn from a lawsuit by making some substantive steps. I think that's just so cool. I want to move in that direction, if you will, and I want to be a resource to you, Aimee, in a real way. So I thank you.
Last but not least, I want to make sure that you understand that any type of committee, commission, what have you, would have to include you at the table, number one. Number two, I want everybody to realize, at least this is the way I understand it, that committee, commission, whatever it's called, would only really be doing some, maybe some in-depth look at different issues pertaining to elections and making our best recommendations. Ultimately, it's your department that you're running. And I know that, we know that, I think they know that, but I think it's worth saying. So thank you for being here. Thank you, guys.